thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for me. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. In today's episode I will be previewing our match this weekend, of course, away at Mansfield Town on Saturday afternoon, as club football does return and it goes all the way through until March now. There's no stopping in this. There's no more international breaks for the foreseeable future, thank goodness. But I hope you're all doing well. Big up to you all. Make sure you do smash that like button if you can help me out on your way in. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. And comment your thoughts down below throughout the show as we go along. I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Or if you are watching it on playback, I know everybody can't always tune in live. Make sure you get your score predictions, your thoughts ahead of the game down below in the comment section. All right, so let's get into things, and obviously we are going to be with you for about half an hour or so, maybe sooner, maybe shorter than that, but I'm going to be with you for the next half an hour at least, probably previewing our match this weekend. Jordan's in the building. Hello, Jordan. How are you doing? Good to see you, mate. Big up to yourself. And yeah, hope all is well. But look, we are going to be getting into it now. So let's have a look at this. Let's put that on a minute. Okay, so look, Mansfield Town are our opponents. So as always, we look at the opposition first. And I've done my research and we're here to do that first. And then we'll go into our perspective, of course, team lineups, score predictions, and all that good stuff that we cover in the preview shows. But look, obviously, yeah, Mansfield currently level on points with us at the moment. They are a place above us, however, because they do have a better goal difference in the League One table. Obviously, had a very strong October, which has really helped them, climb up that table quite considerably. Where they won 2, they drew once. Obviously, they have lost their last couple of matches, but obviously, including we played them not so long ago, but it was in the Virtue Trophy, which I'm not really reading too much into, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna really take too much into that, pay too much attention to that, if I'm being honest. Hello to you, Adam. Yes, good to see you in the chat, mate. And yes, I'm doing my best. Thanks. Hope you're doing well. But yes, obviously, big up to you all that are tuned in. Drop a like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in this live show this evening. But look, obviously, their manager is Nigel Clough, a very experienced manager, been around the block, likes of Derby, Sheffield United, Burton Albion, and now Mansfield, where he spent over 5 years at the club, leading them to League One in 2024 last year, and obviously showing signs of progression along the way. So yes, Clough became the manager of Mansfield in 2020 when they were just above the League Two relegation zone. Since then, he has really evolved this Mansfield side to become a top half League One side. So yeah, he's really took them on a journey. I think he's a very good manager, experienced as well, like I said, and he certainly knows his way around to navigate victories, and he's not very stubborn in his ways. This manager, he will adapt the situations, and he's very good at that. Let's look throwback when we beat them on penalties to go to League One. Oh my goodness! I mean, I cannot remember that, mate. But yes, yeah, that must have been quite a while back because I can't remember. But look, yeah, but thank you for sharing that. I mean, obviously a memory of yours. But look, their formation, they do tend to go with a 4-2-3-1 shape. Obviously, tough to break down. Compact back line that provides a well kind of managed structure for both offensive and defensive football as well. The bank of three behind the lone striker dynamic in terms of being able to switch from attacking wide areas or focus on congesting narrow areas of the pitch. Key players that I have put down on the list for me, let me know your key players down below. I've also I've gone for a few goal scorers, but I also look at the midfield, and they've got a few good. They've also got a few good midfielders in there that I see being quite crucial for them. But look, Will Evans, I can't speak. Will Evans has got 5 goals to his name this season. Top scorer. Reece Oates on 4 goals and Tyler Robertson on 3 goals. Now, we also got a few good midfielders. Now, Regan Hendry, one of those in the midfield, very good player, crucial player in the midfield, as I said. 84% passing accuracy, so very effective in that area. And like I say, he's a crucial kind of part in that Mansfield midfield as they kind of aim to retain that ball. Now, they've also got another midfielder, Northern Irish midfielder, Jamie McDonnell, currently on loan from Nottingham Forest, 21 years of age, scored twice in League One this season. And yes, he'll be available. And also Liam Roberts is their keeper. Very experienced in League One, playing 120 games across his career, keeping, so you know what I mean. So yeah, he's got a know-how of League One. Lee Fowler scoring, winning 1. All right, yes, because I don't remember that. But look, a stat for you for Mansfield perspective. They have been one of the most clinical sides in the division this season. They have the joint 3rd best goal scoring record, 22 goals, despite having just the 14th highest shots per game and the 15th highest expected goals. They have, however, struggled to hold on to their leads at times this season, which has been their downfall, dropping 10 points from winning positions. So yeah, I think that's kind of Mansfield covered off. Big up to everyone that's tuning in. I hope you're all doing well on this Friday evening. Get in your comments. Let me know your thoughts as we head into this game as the international break is finally over, as we get back to club football. So that is kind of Mansfield's perspective. I think they're a good side. Like I say, it'll be a tough game. Very, very different games to when we face them down here in the cup competition, the Virtue Trophy, like I said earlier. But look, let's get into our perspective then. So I kind of covered Mansfield a little bit there. Let's get in to what we need to be doing. Like I said, we're coming to this on the back of winning against Plymouth before the international break, of course. We really do need to build on that. And I think, really go on a winning run with the next couple of games with all teams above us. It is crucial. That's how I see it. And I think that Mansfield will be a tough kind of outfit to kind of break down. But we have to find the solutions. Like I said, we want to build on that improvement that we've showed before the international break, and doing it against better sides than bottom of the table Plymouth Argyle. Apparently that makes me negative and that makes me toxic, but that's the reality. I want to see us do it against these sides that are up there at the top as well. So, but it's also really important for me for us to really gain confidence, in these games, because I think that if we come out of these games feeling very, very disappointed with the results, then the confidence is really going to be really low, to be honest with you. But as I've already alluded to, a lot of questions still on Lee Grant for me about whether he can, get us promoted, which was the aim at the start of the season. And can he bring exciting football as well as results? Because at the moment, yes, we won last time out. We played some good football, but can we do it consistently? Can we keep playing? Can we keep playing on the front foot and actually just have a good style of football to watch and results? Like I said, we need to win results. We need to have consistent results. But another thing that's intriguing me as well with this manager is that will he actually keep with the formation that they had before the international break, where he had to change it really because he was forced to because of injuries. But is he going to stick with the same formation? I think everybody out there will tell you that he should, but you just never know really what this guy is going to do, really. Alex says they will not be a rollover. Yeah, no, Mansfield, they're doing well, very organised team. And he also says Cameron Ashia has a part to play with his important sub appearances in the last few games. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I think Ashia is a very good player. I mean, a lot of people are saying now that maybe he's best to keep coming off the bench and making an impact that way. But really, if he's coming off the bench and performing and doing well, then surely he deserves a start as well. But that's just the way I see it. But yeah, no, definitely an important player for us. And one that has so much talent in there as well. Now, let's get to the team news then for this game. So, like I say, it's looking a lot better in terms of the injury front now. Obviously, the international breaks allowed us to kind of, get a few players closer to returning to action, either or, which is really, really important because, like I said, we've got so many injuries. Alfie May obviously will serve his final game this weekend before he is available for Tuesday night's fixture with Luton Town. Obviously, there was talk about him having an injury as well, a lower leg injury, but he has actually recovered from that. Obviously, he did play for the he played 90 minutes for the under-21 last week, of course. So he's all good for them, but he's not going to be available this weekend. Dion Charles obviously went off at half-time in Northern Ireland's defeat to Slovakia last Friday night, but was able to take his place on the bench for the next match against Luxembourg on Monday. So it's not serious injury. He's back. He should be available for this one. Radinho Abalka and Owen Goodman have obviously been on international duty, travelling far away to Suriname and Canada, respectively, for their nations. Obviously, those couple of players that I mentioned, Charles, Balker, and Goodman, will be kind of assessed as to their readiness to play on Saturday. Bearing in mind, obviously, we do have 7 games in 22 days. Very, very busy. Leo Castledine and Lyndon Gooch returned from shoulder and calf injuries, respectively, against Plymouth last time out, and are expected to be available for selection on Saturday. So that's good news for those two. Joe Lowe obviously missed the last 2 games with a calf injury. but he has also been back in training this week. So again, he should be available to come back in again, which is good. Wallace, there's so many injuries, isn't there? So that's why I have to keep going through it. But Wallace has been back in training all week as well, following his foot injury. Kasumu has also returned to training, but Saturday may come too soon for him. It's a similar story for Anthony Evans, who returned to full training this week following his knee injury. So yes, and Jack Watmore and Marcus McGuane both remain sidelined. McGuane has had a minor setback in the form of a soft tissue injury, but it is not back to square one for him, and he's still heading in the right direction. But again, not really good enough for us. We signed this guy to come into our midfield and make a difference, and he's hardly ever available. It's not good enough. But both of these players are at least a couple of weeks away from having any further news to share on these. So yes, and obviously we know the long-term absentees that we've got. Alves, Kane and Redmond. So yes, that's all your team news. I hope that's kind of cleared up everything ahead of the weekend. Obviously, there's a few players back. May is going to be returning back after this game, but yeah, good to get players back on board as soon as possible. Adam says Alfie May has been watching the cricket and he's been out. He's made this central midfielder linked with time this summer. Oh, has he? All right, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I didn't know he liked his cricket, but anyways, Michael, so you and I hope you're okay. Big up to you, Michael. How are you doing? Good to see you in. But look, it is that time where we do our lineups. So if you want to get involved in this, make sure you do get your team lineups in the chat. Or if you want to look at my lineup and then decide if you agree, disagree, etc. So what we're going to do, we're going to share the screen and we're going to actually move this around. So we get, right, yes, that's the wrong one. So we're going to actually move it like this because it looks better like that now. So look, this is my lineup. I'm going to go through it and let me know what you think about it. But look, for me, we still have to stick with the same formation. 4-4-2, please, Mr. Grant. Keep doing what we've done because it's proven that, you know what I mean, Bojan and Charles have been effective up top for us. So keep them in up top together and don't go back to the formation where before that clearly wasn't working. But look, Goodman for me, I guess. So he did obviously was away on international duty for Canada recently. So obviously, you know, I'm sure it'll be all right for this game with all the travelling that's been involved for him. But yeah, so look, for me, Goodman starts in goal. The back four of Gooch on the right. For me, Gooch experience, you know, very good at defending as well as going forward as well. Yes, Sorensen has done well on that right-hand side when he's come in and done, you know, and grown in the team. But for me, I just see it as Gooch being the better all-round player. And yes, I know he's come back from injury, but obviously did come on against Plymouth. And yeah, he will be ready to come back in this game, in my opinion. Then you've got your two centre-backs, of Fine, and I have brought Lowe back into the picture. I just think Lowe will be available. And Fine, we know what Fine is about. Fantastic player that we've got, and I'm a big fan of his. On the left, I've gone for Ruskin on the left back. Then into midfield, I've gone for Miller on the wing on the left. Very effective down there. Gets down the wing. Also good at doing his defensive duties when required as well. But yes, like him in that position, Miller. I'm going to stick with the same two central midfielders of Ledson and Harness. Harness, that new position. that he's accidentally found himself in because of the injuries, and he's done quite well in it, and he looks a lot better in that position than he does out wide. So for me, keep him in there, and let's see what he can do. On the right, I have gone for Ashia. Yes, people may argue you're best bringing him off the bench and making impact that way, but I do think that he deserves to start it now. You know, he's putting a lot of work on the training ground. So his Instagram stories, you know, he's always working to improve. This guy is full of work ethic, and he's so hardworking in what he does. And you know what I mean? I just think he's such a talent, so dangerous, down, you know, constantly taking on, driving at the defenders and trying to make things happen. So yeah, a lot of pace as well, as we know. So yeah, for me, Ashia, I think now is the time to get him in the starting lineup. And then, like I said earlier, 2 up top of Radulovic, Bojan, Bojan, yeah, and Charles, who have both been in good goal scoring form recently. So, you know what I mean? Harness in central midfield. Yeah, definitely. He's certainly better in that position. Part of me still likes 3-5-2. Yeah, I mean, I'm personally not a fan of the 3 at the back. I understand why. Obviously, you know, fair enough. Obviously, it still allows us to have that 2 up top with the 5 midfield. But yeah, I've never really been a fan of the wing back system, to be honest with you. I didn't particularly like it under Duff. So yeah, I like fullbacks, and I like proper wingers. I don't like this wing back nonsense. I'm just not really a fan of it. But yeah, fair enough. That's kind of your kind of stance on things, which is fine. Yeah, with the wing backs, yeah. But you know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at with what I believe is our best lineup to go for. So yeah, any changes, let me know in the chat. But score predictions for the game. Let me know your score predictions. I mean, I said my score prediction anyway in the live League One prediction show, and I'm going to stick with it. Obviously, we have got a good record against Mansfield. You know, we actually beat them last season twice, 2-1 home and away, and obviously we won again. Obviously against them at home in the virtual trophies. That's 3 matches that we've won on the bounce. Although, like I said, I think you can just kind of take the cup game out of it because of how changed the lineups were really in terms of who was out there in those games. But yeah, for me, I'm actually going to go for a 2-1 victory for us. I think that I'm kind of trying to be positive, to be honest with you, in terms of result. Look, you just never know what you're going to get. There's a lot of question marks about this manager still, as I've already alluded to in my past videos. I'm not really convinced about him. There's a lot more. A lot of his decisions and stuff like that, and his tactics and his in-game management, very questionable at times for me. So the jury's still out on him for that. And yeah, it's a big test, these next couple of matches. That's how I see it. And unfortunately, it's all well and good getting carried away about beating Plymouth before the international break, which I wasn't, and apparently that makes me negative. But I wasn't getting carried away with that game. That was one isolated game. I knew we had bigger tests to come in these games after the international break, and this is where we will see. This is a big test. These next couple of games against next 4 against teams above us. How are we going to do? How are we going to do? Is this manager going to deliver what he needs to? I know these players are going to step up as well and be counted. There's lots of questions to be asked. To be honest with you. You said 1-1. Adam says, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just the same old story because if we keep drawing games, it's just not going to be enough. And I just can't believe that, for me, I would have made that change with the manager over the international break because this manager hasn't got a clue, in my opinion, about what he's doing. and we need somebody with experience. That's how I see it. And you think Charles is going to score? Yeah, I mean, I didn't go my goal score, did I? 2-1 to us. I'm going to go for Charles. And it says the other goal scorer, maybe from a set piece. Joe Lowe in a set piece. So yeah. Wayne says 3-0 Town, Taylor 2, Dion 1. So you think Town win 3-0? You're full of confidence going into this game, Wayne. Big up to yourself. And Adam says Lee Grant does not give the confidence for the win. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. I understand what you're saying. But again, I keep getting told that he's learning and all this and he's still new to management and blah, blah, blah. Cool. But our aim was to get promoted this season. And we've gone for a manager that is totally inexperienced. And he's been found out so many times this season. And he is, his decision-making, his selections, you just never know what he's going to do you? But, yeah. If Town can close the gap and be in a position to be around second in January, I'd take that. Yeah, we just need to move up that table, mate. Like, honestly, like, if you look at Stockport losing last night, so that's one team that have dropped points. Not just losing, but losing badly last night. They're a team that we're trying to get, that we're chasing. If we win this game, then we're only 3 points behind them with a game in hand. So things can change quickly. But again, I am struggling to have confidence in this manager. And like I said, that makes me negative apparently, but I'm not being negative. I just don't really believe in what he's doing. There's far too many doubts in my mind about this manager that I have actually. I don't really have confidence in this manager to deliver for us. I'm just hoping that the players can kind of take things into their own hands and kind of step up rather than Lee Grant's excellence, if that makes sense, in these coming games. Wayne says I was surprised seeing Peterborough beating Stockport last night. Peterborough have been in good form going into that game, so I was surprised by the scoreline, admittedly, to be honest with you. But look, that's League One, and Stockport have kind of been faltering recently. So yeah, it's one of those. Did you see the rumour a player linked with Town? He might cost a ball. Is that player that's really injury prone? And he's come back from a double ACL injury, which is what we would go and sign somebody like that in January, by the way, in a position that really we don't really need to strengthen. We need to look at other areas really, and at the moment, it's clear to me there's other areas that need to be strengthened in this team. Mark says depends what team Grant picks and that's it, isn't it? You just don't know what you're gonna get, and I'm kind of thinking like if we go into this game and just revert back to what we've been doing, like in the games prior to the Plymouth game, then we're going to struggle. And I don't think Grant changed his formation stuff because he wanted to, as I said earlier. I believe he changed because he had to, because the injuries that we had was kind of making him change. It's not that he wanted to, because he's always said he's not going to change. So my worry is when we're getting these players back from injury, he's going to go back to the same predictable 4-2-3-1 formation, which clearly isn't effective for us. We don't work well in that formation. I don't particularly like one up front either. I just think it makes the strikers that we're playing in that system when we were playing that system was like obviously Taylor or May. So obviously I know May was sometimes deeper. They're just small strikers. Yes, we've got Bojan coming back into the fold, but I don't think Bojan will be effective up there on his own. So yeah, That's a good point, actually. That, yeah. I mean, in terms of players' strength, and the right wing does look to be a weak point, doesn't it? Because if Harness is going to stay in that central midfield role now, because like I said, I think that's his best position, to be honest with you, even though he hasn't played there much before in his career. But I think that's his best position for us. He has played well, a lot better in the games that we've seen him in that role. So yeah, I think right inside. But again, if we are playing the 4-4-2, it means that Castledine will have to be on the wing if he plays on the wing. He will have to be on the wing, and he won't be able to be a number 10. So that's another thing. But yeah, 2-1 to Mansfield. Our away form isn't good. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't really blame people for thinking that we're going to lose this game. I mean, if we look at the away form right now, just look on the screen, our away form, we've got 6. We've actually only collected 6 points from 6 matches away from home, and we find ourselves in 16th on the form guide away from home. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to start picking that up, though, Stuart. And like I said, that is a massive, massive problem, of course. But yeah, we do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, if we're not going to start, I mean, like I say, what do you guys think out there in terms of Ashley? Do you think he should be maybe starting games now, or do you think he still should be coming off the bench, or how do you guys see it in terms of that? Because, like, if we're talking about strengthening our right hand side, well, does that mean that Ashley is not going to be, part of the plans in terms of regular minutes? Is he just going to have a bit part role to play? But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to wrap things up very, very shortly, guys. But obviously, we kind of come to the end of the preview, but we can still have a chat. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. And look, I mean, the game as a whole, it's going to be interesting to see how we're going to, kind of break this Mansfield side down, because they are organised. Like I said, I know they've lost the last game, but you see Ashley more on the left. Yeah, and I see that, but I think he's pretty good on either side personally. But yeah, that's fair enough. Can't see us winning any of these 3 away games. I mean, look, if we don't win any of these 3 away games, Michael, we're going to really be down. We really are going to be in a bad position in the table. Because I was thinking I did a video the other day about this, about the next 4 being crucial, and that I feel like if we don't get a good handful of points out of these next couple of games, then we really are going to be in trouble, because we're already chasing the teams above us. You know what I mean? It's still a 4-point gap. I know we've got still a 4-point gap between us and the playoffs. So if we end up losing all 3 of these away games, and obviously winning the home game against Wimbledon, hopefully, that's 3 points from 12. That is dreadful, and that will not really get us up into that top 6. Yeah, you have got a good point, to be fair, mate. I mean, Ashley does play on the left more, doesn't he? Which kind of I understand that now. And scored the goal similar to Leicester one and playing for. Yeah, no, to be fair, yeah, you are right, to be honest with you. Yeah, you are right, mate. I mean, in terms of my line, I probably have got it completely wrong then, but Who else could you play on that right hand side then? You could you put Castledine on the right in that lineup that I did earlier? And obviously Miller's on the left. Probably put Castledine in then instead of Ashier in my lineup that I did earlier. Where's who's going to win tonight? Blackburn or Preston? It's an interesting game, that, isn't it? I mean, it's one of those where it's going to be interesting to see what kind of players. I mean, let's have a look at their. I don't even know. Look at Preston are doing well at the moment. They're fourth in the table at the moment. I can't remember. Because we're not in the championship anymore. I don't always follow it as much as what I used to do. I do obviously watch the games, but I don't follow the table as such because obviously we're not there. Preston fourth, Blackburn in 19th, and Preston have won 3 out of their last 4. I'm going to go for a Preston win there. I'm probably going to go for a 2-1 Preston in that game. So yeah. I think the only game we might win is the Wimbledon game. Yeah, I mean, look, Michael, like I said, that's not good enough. We need to be expecting. We need to be demanding more out of these games because we've had such a stuttering start. Before the Plymouth game was dreadful. Now we're having to. Now the time is that we're having to pick up points. Well, we always have to pick up points against teams around us anyway. But I mean, it's become even more important to really win the games that we've got coming up. But anyway, final kind of minutes before we head off. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's input tonight as well. I appreciate you all being here. But I just think for me, it's about seeing what actually develops now with Grant and his system and how he seems out, how is his in-game management and stuff like that, and see how it plays out. Because in these games that we're coming against next, you are going to be found out if you go wanting any of these. I don't expect him to be perfect. I mean, if he makes the decisions that he's made in the past, we are going to be in massive trouble, I tell you. And then it really will be, because I think if he starts to lose games again, the pressure will increase. The pressure will be back on again. I know the pressure kind of alleviated against Plymouth, but still think he wasn't the man to take us forward, to be honest with you, even after that Plymouth win. That's how I see it. But yes, we are going to wrap things up, I think, now anyway. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I appreciate all your contributions as well. Adam, big up to yourself. Wayne, Michael, and all you fantastic people out there contributing. Jordan as well earlier. Wayne's you getting the EFL sticker book, bring back memories. Yeah, I mean, I haven't got it yet, but I do want to get it. It's actually I was so slow to actually. I should have pre-ordered it, but sold out on the Panini website. Now it is available on another website, but it's not actually in the shops yet. Which I don't want to pay delivery fees to get the book, so I'm kind of waiting to see if it comes back into actual shops, and then I can just buy it there. But Panini, I don't know when they're going to stock. I don't know when they're going to restock on things, because, like I say, if you look at on the Panini website, everything's pretty much sold out. So yes, hopefully I do get my hands on one very, very soon. But big up. I was actually tempted to do a video about that, guys, as well. Actually, unpacking the stickers, on one of the videos. But yeah, I'm still thinking about the short side. Yeah, I mean, I am a little bit. Yeah, I just don't know if I'm going to be very good at those. I'm being honest. Obviously, I know you kind of mentioned it to me. I'm still thinking about it. Yeah. But yes, so let's see what happens this weekend. And my match reaction will be out over the weekend on Sunday or maybe Monday, depending. I don't know yet. And then obviously we'll do the preview for the Luton game, match preview for the Luton game, because it's a quick turnaround. So I'm going to have to be really switched on. Watch along on Tuesday night for the game against Luton as well, because obviously it's on television, so we can be watching that and watch along for that. And yeah, reaction video out following day for that game as well, once I've kind of regathered my thoughts on the game. Hopefully you guys can join me very, very shortly, but thank you very much for your support on the channel. Like I say, if you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe, and yeah, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. But until next time, have a good weekend. Let's see what this weekend brings. Can we deliver 3 points that we so desperately need against a team that, yes, is on the same points as us, but is above us? Let's see what drama develops over the weekend. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. And thank you very much, Wayne. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I'm doing my best. I mean, look, it is difficult to keep going on this channel and, you know what I mean, creating content and, you know, making sure that I'm coming across clearly. But, you know what I mean, I just do my best, and that's all I can do, really. Max, is good show. Big up. Thank you very much. Thank you for all the love. Yeah, and you take care, Adam, as well. Yeah, take care of yourself. Up the town, indeed, up the town. So let's see. Come on, town. Let's just get a win this weekend. Everybody say, you know, a few people in here tonight saying they don't think we're going to win it, but please just deliver for us and get 3 points to really get us up that table a little bit more. Anyway, take care. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. I'll see you very, very soon for another video. Until next time. Bye-bye now.